Hello.
How are you today?
Good. Time to exercise.
Yeah?
Yep.
Get your steps in.
Yep. Gotta do it. Yeah, it's time to exercise. You feel me? It's time to get some pick me up. See if they got a rock star over here, man. If not, we'll go to the other store. But yeah, man, in this lifetime, I come to realize that, you know, uh, until you get that bag, man, you'll never see the type of woman that you ever want to see. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I'm on the bag chase right now, so I can actually date outside my league. And you're not gonna be able to date outside your league if you don't have money, bro.
ਕੱਲ ਰੋਜ਼ ਪਾਉਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਬੰਦਾ ਖੜਾ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਜੇ 322 ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਲੇਟ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਸਟੋਰ ਕਿਤੇ ਅੱਧਾ ਘੰਟਾ ਲੇਟ ਹੋਇਆ ਤੜਫਦਾ ਫਿਰਦਾ ਤੇ ਤੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੂੰ ਜਾਣਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਟੋਰ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਆ ਤੂੰ ਉੱਥੇ ਚੱਕਰ ਕੇ ਦੌੜਿਆ ਤੂੰ ਉੱਥੇ ਖੜੇ ਜੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਖੋਲ ਲੈ ਦੂਜਾ ਸਟੋਰ ਰਾਜ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੇਰਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਜੇ ਖੋਲਿਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਤੂੰ ਚੱਲ ਮੈਂ ਖੜਦਾ 10-20 ਮਿੰਟ ਲੇਟ ਤਾਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਤੂੰ ਚੱਲ ਜਾ ਉੱਥੇ
Thank you.
ਉਹ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਖੜਦਾ ਉਹ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਆ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਪੁੱਛਾ
Well,
Thank you.
That's just reality, bro. Like we're not all Chad and Tyrone. You feel what I'm saying? Like not every single man has the same level of looks. We're up and down with the shit, bro. Some men were invented, well, created. I guess invented, right? It's the same. Create, invent, or whatever. Some men are created small and complex, like just short, very short. Some men are created very tall. Some men are average looking or below average looking. Some men are Chads and Tyrones. So we come in all shifts, shapes, and sizes and colors. So we're different. We're not created all equal. That's why a lot of us struggle, and a lot of dudes don't struggle. You feel what I'm saying? The Chads and Tyrones, they will never struggle. I don't care how, how advanced technology gets. Chad and Tyrone would never struggle. Ever in life. You feel me? So there's a certain type of female that you won't never ever see unless you got money, bro. When I looked at my dad, he never got to see a bad bitch. He went to the grave without seeing one. Most of the women my dad was dating were average and below average women. Okay, he could never get to the 8, 9s, and 10s. And my mother was not an 8, 9, or a 10. She was an average woman, bro. She was attractive too, in her younger days, but she wasn't an 8, 9, or a 10. And my dad wasn't an 8, 9, or a 10, okay? So I'm going to struggle getting these type of women that I like, that you desire, because we all desire 8, 9s, and 10s, man. Their looks are on a whole nother level, man. You feel me? A woman that's an 8, 9, or a 10, that's a whole different type of animal, man. You feel me? We gotta work out really quickly. What's up with it? My uncle was Tyrone. He what's up with it? Money. My uncle was Tyrone. He snatched my ex shit. Hurt till today, bro. What? He snatched your ex-girlfriend? Your uncle? Oh, man. You see? We're all built different, man. We wasn't created equal. When you think about like lions and tigers and bears, they're all created equal, bro. They all look the same. That's not the case with human beings, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not tall. Oh. You feel me? Not everybody. He smashed my ex-girl, you see? That's what I'm talking about. You know? Genetics always win, bro. Genetics and money. That's why I say some women you're not gonna be able to see in this lifetime unless you got bread. I'm 45 years old, bro. I ain't never went over a 7. You feel me? The far as I went in life was a 7. That's as far as I went. And I couldn't keep those 7s. Even when technology was Not as advanced as right now, but I couldn't keep Gwen. That was too hard for me to keep, bro. Tyrone was after that, man. Yeah, you got Chaz and Tyrone was just after sevens and stuff too, man. 7, 8, 9s, and 10s. Actually, the Chad and Tyrone, they smashing 6, 7s, 8, 9s, and 10s. So that's why it's hard for you, as the average guy that's a 6, to get a 6, because these women are after only Chad and Tyrone. Basically, Chad and Tyrone only. You feel what I'm saying? So basically, he's a Chad Rome, okay? Chad Rome, nigga, Chad Rome. That's what I'm saying, bro. Some of us gotta have money to get those type of women, bro. Like, as long as I've been living, bro, like I said, man, I ain't never, ever got over a 7. I ain't never seen no parts of an 8. Definitely ain't seen no parts of a 9. And I definitely ain't gonna see a parts of no 10, bro, because I'm not a 10 myself. The only way you can get a 8, 9, or a 10 is that you have to be an 8, 9, or a 10 in looks, okay? They attract each other. You feel what I'm saying? Women are always looking for the hottest dudes on the block. They're always checking for them dudes, bro. Unfortunately for them, they're not gonna be able to pull these dudes, because a lot of these guys, they got options. They don't have to settle for no 5 or no 6. You feel what I'm saying? They got the 7, 8, 9s, and 10s. They don't need no 5 or a 6. You feel what I'm saying? Unfortunately, a lot of us have to have the money to get those type of women, bro. I hate to say it, because I look at women that I love to be with every single day, man, but it's so goddamn competitive. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna, bro, you will die before you get a woman like that. Like I said, I seen my father. He went to his grave. He never got a bad bitch in his lifetime. So, okay, all the women he was dealing with were average and below average women. And before he died, man, he was messing with them below average looking women. For the last like 10 years he was alive, he was messing with only below average looking. He couldn't get the average woman no more. I think it's because of the internet or something like that. But he was in there dicking down women who were 3s and shit. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, no, don't worry about it, son. They're beautiful. They beautiful on the inside. They might be not looking so good on the outside, but they beautiful on the inside, man. They beautiful. That's what he was telling me. And not knowing that, hey, man, he's taking the easy way out, bro. It's called low-hanging fruit. You feel what I'm saying? That's the easy way out. When you can't get your fucking face smashed no more, bro, you start fucking with below average looking women. I don't blame you, man. You got to get laid somewhere. You got to get your dick sucked somehow, man. Shit. And when the average women don't want you no more, shit, you got to go with them below average looking women. A woman like Sub 5 Stalker. You feel what I'm saying? So nah, man. You will never in this lifetime see beautiful women. No, it's too competitive for them, man, unless you got money. That's why I say, guys, get the bag so you can eventually experience having sex with some of these women. Can you imagine after how many years of messing with average and below average women, and then you come up on a bag, and now you're sleeping with women who are above average looking? Can you imagine how these females feel in the bedroom, how they look in the bedroom? Okay. You know, can you imagine the curves on the women? Them big old titties and a nice big ass on them? Whoa, man. You went from fucking average women to above average women. And you'll have access to the type of women only if you got money, man. You feel what I'm saying? You're only gonna have You're only gonna have access to these women, you know, only if you got money, bro. You will die before you have access to these type of women, bro. You will go to your grave before you have access to these type of women. You got money, you got access to these type of women, bro. That's simple as that, bro. What the incels say, the Stacys, you know, and I call them the Keishas, the top tier black women. You ain't gonna see these women. They see you as inferior to them, you know. They see you as inferior to their looks. You're not tall enough. You're 5'9". A woman that's top tier, she could be picky with you as fuck. Your height could be a problem for her. You know, maybe your nose might be too big or something. You know what I'm saying? You're just not good looking enough for her. You know, until you got that money, then all of a sudden you become a Tyrone magically. You know. Yeah, Money Hunter. Yeah, that happened to me, man. Sub-5 Stalker was stalking me, bro. I tried to let that female go, man, and she would not let me go. You gotta be careful with dating women who are way below your looks level, man. These women can get crazy. They can. You probably might end up dying if you keep on like dating those women, bro. You probably might end up getting killed or getting stalked. I was getting stalked before. This is not my only stalker. Sub-5 Stalker wasn't my only stalker, bro. Except like Sub-5 Stalker knew where I camp at. You know what I'm saying? She knew where I laid my head at. The other female, she was stalking me at the club I used to work at when I was 25 years old. And she used to always wait for me after the club was over, and I used to always take that fucking side door and have a ride waiting for me. I would have a ride waiting for me on the side door of the club in a little alleyway, and I used to take off burning rubber to get away from her and shit because she was always waiting for me after the club. She was sub-5, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Those type of women, you gotta really be careful, man. That's why I recommend you stick with your face match. You get with an average woman if you're an average dude, bro. Don't sink down to a woman that's below your looks level just because you're horny, man. You know what I'm saying? No, I have some standards, bro. Some type of standards, you know. Have something. You know. Yeah, but that's why I advise men to get the bag so you can date these women, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know. I advise men get out here and get that bag so you can get these women, bro. Because these are the type of women that you want, man. The nice curves, you know, tall, good looking in the face, beautiful. You feel what I'm saying? You know, you won't get these women unless you got some money, bro. Hell, Tupac knew that shit, bro. Tupac knew that. You know. Nah, you ain't gonna have no access to beautiful, gorgeous women if you're an average guy with no money. It's just not gonna happen, man. You can keep on wishing and dreaming and praying to that God in the sky, man. It ain't gonna work. You better ask Jesus to help you or something. Because that is not gonna work. You are not gonna date these women unless you got some bread, bro. Take it from an OG, that's 45, man. I ain't never seen these type of women, bro. These women, when I was younger, they used to reject me, man. Yeah, the women who were very pretty, like an 8 and stuff like that, they used to reject me. They used to look at me like, ugh, he ain't that tall. Next. I remember this girl, her name was Moya. Now, she wasn't an 8, but she was like around a 7. and she was half Japanese, half black, and she had some big old titties, boy. Oh man, oh man, she had a nice booty on her, man. I approached her, man, and she was like, nope. For real. I thought I was hot stuff back then too. I think I was like 18 or 19 years old, bro. Her name was Moya, and I approached. I tried to get a number or something, and she said, no, thank you. And I was like, wow. That let me know that, bro, I was not a Tyrone, man. You feel what I'm saying? And in high school, I had females that had crushes on me, but they were all average-looking women. You feel what I'm saying? I only had average women my entire life. Women who between a 5, 6, or 7, that's as far as I went. I couldn't get to 8, 9s, and 10s. It's too competitive for them, bro. It has always been competitive for 8, 9s, and 10s, even before the internet took off. You feel what I'm saying? It has always been like very highly competitive for 8, 9s, and 10s. Never came close to getting an 8. I don't know what it's like to get inside the bedroom with an 8. You hear what I'm saying? These women are highly desirable, bro, by all men, rich men, Chaz and Tyrones. That's why it's so hard to get them. You feel what I'm saying? That's why it's so hard to get these type of women. It's your competitors. Your competitors want them too. Chad and Tyrone want them too, bro. All the top tier men, they want them too. Like, oh, that's a Stacy right there. Let me holler. And motherfucking Chad, he'll get her, man. Tyrone, he'll get her. They look at you like, oh no, I've been with better looking dudes than you. They'll reject you, man, quick. Until you come up on that bag, then all of a sudden you good enough. All of a sudden you her type now. That's how women are, bro. They phony, bro. You know what I'm saying? They be faking the funk just to be with you and shit. Look at Tyrese. He would have never been dating them type of women if it wasn't for his money, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Tyrese, if he didn't have that net worth of $30 million, he wouldn't be dating Zelly, and he wouldn't have been dating Samantha Lee, okay? But since he got that bread like that, bro, he can have these women, bro, be inside the bedroom, hitting it doggy style, man, just tearing the coochie up. You know what I'm saying? Now, is it an authentic relationship? No. It's a transactional relationship. But I'd rather be in a transactional relationship than have a zero relationship with these females. At least I get to be around them and have dinner with them and hang out and shit. Because these women, they won't even give you the time of day, bro. These women won't even have a full-fledged conversation with you, bro. That's how shut off you are to them, bro. If you try to start a conversation with a female that's an 8, man, she'll look at you, oh, he in shape, he buff, but his face is not. I've been with taller and better looking men than him. Okay? That's how they look at it. I saw that on was it Facing LMS? One of the videos and shit. Let me get some water, because I'll hurt myself if I don't drink water. You cramp up when you work out. You ain't got no water in you, man. I gotta take another swig of that before I work out, man. You gotta take 2 good swigs. For like 15 seconds each. Just, take that water into your body before you work out, because you'll hurt yourself if you don't. Sorry, maybe burp. Yeah, so these women, they might find you somewhat attractive if you're decent looking, but they like, nah, I could do better. The last guy I was with, he was 6'2". He was a Chad or Tyrone. This guy's 5'9". His face is like a 6. I could do better than him. I've been with better looking dudes than him. And there's plenty of Chads and Tyrones, bro. Plenty to go around for all the females. You feel what I'm saying? That's why it's hard. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they could have one night stands with these dudes and stuff. You feel me? And leave you out to dry, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, I've been rejected so much in my life. Even when I was in my prime, I got rejected a lot. But also I did get a lot when I was younger. You feel what I'm saying? Like I was getting laid more in my 20s. You feel what I'm saying? Then in my 30s and my 40s. You feel me? And based on my height is one of the reasons why women will reject me, bro. Because I'm not that tall. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm buff, I'm shredded, but I'm not that tall. I'm only 5'9". 5'10" on a good day, all right? If I wear some shoes with 1 inch on them, I get like 5'10", all right? But these women will nitpick at the little things, you know, if they're not attracted to you, bro. You feel what I'm saying? If they feel like they can do better than you, you know, so money up, bro. That's all I gotta say, man. You'll never see these type of women unless you get some money. I don't care, bro. It could be a million years would pass, bro, and you will never see these women, bro. If you could live to be 1,000,000 years old, bro, you would reach 1,000,000 and you'll never have these women, bro. These type of women, okay? It don't matter, bro. It doesn't matter. You see that guy who went 27 years? He been single for 27 years. That you see how long, you know, you feel me? Like, you'll never see these women, bro, unless you got some bread. That's why you got to be focused on it. That's why a lot of guys go out there and they achieve that bag because they know that, you know, they know that they're not going to never see these women ever unless they get money. Kevin Hart knew that. Kevin Hart with a beautiful girl right now, man. I seen him. She taller than him and shit, but that's what he wanted, man. You know, he wanted a taller woman, man, so she could produce tall babies or taller babies. Okay. A lot of guys don't understand that part, bro. You would never see the Stacys, you know, as the incels say, right? You'll never see these women, bro, unless you got some money. Simple as that. Like, bro, I am, like I said, man, time and time again, something in my nose, like a bug or something. Dude, like I said, bro, I'm nearly 50 years old, and I ain't never even came close to a 8. Not even close. Not even sniffing around, bro. I never even got a sniff of the coochie, bro. When women look at me who are above my looks level, they keep it pushing, bro. They'll look at me, they'll look at my face, and they'll be like, oh, next. You know, or they'll look down at the ground, you feel what I'm saying? And the women who like me, they're around average looking and shit, man. That's how I like shit. Fuck it. So that let me know that I'm just an average dude up out here, bro. You know what I'm saying? 5'9" is considered short nowadays, bro. Shit is brutal out here, man. Yep. I can't do it with 3s and 5s. Your life is in danger. They'll stalk you and shit. Yeah, they will. Yeah, look what happened to Sub 5 Stalker, bro. Hey, bro, she was throwing coffee on my car every single day. These women are very, very sensitive, bro. Once they get a handsome man, they ain't gonna want to let you go, bro. And you're considered handsome. If she's a 3 and you're a 6, you feel me? She's gonna consider you handsome and she'll never be able to get a guy on your looks level ever again. So she gonna act a fool, bro. You feel what I'm saying? She gonna be overly jealous. She gonna be stalking you, and you know what I'm saying. And you might end up dead, bro. I thought Sub 5 Stalker was gonna kill me. I was scared, bro. Bro, I was hella fucking scared. I was locking my door every single night, bro. Making sure my doors was locked and my windows was rolled up tight, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Even though that wouldn't have protected me, but still, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, don't ever date below your looks level ever again, bro. Don't ever do that. I don't care how desperate for sex you get. If you do that, don't let that female know where you work. Don't let her know where you live. Yeah. Yeah, 5'9" is considered short nowadays to a lot of women, bro. You are short. That's why you struggle. If you think that, you know, or if you're wondering why you're struggling, you ain't had a girlfriend in a while, man, it's because the internet, the women's standards have went up. Like before the internet, back when I was dating Gwen and shit, this is 2004, bro. Like women, they wasn't all picky like that, bro. If you was good looking enough and you was, you know, I mean, it's like if you were good looking enough and you were like 5'9", then yeah, it wouldn't be an issue. Nowadays, because of the internet, women's standards have went up. Now you got to be 6 foot, and some of them they'll take 5'9", but these are the women who are like overweight, you know, fat, you know what I'm saying, very skinny and short. Okay, so these women's standards have went up throughout the years, bro. You feel me? You know, this female on Pop the Balloon, she called this guy a short king. Okay, he was 5'9". She called him a short king. And then the females had a problem with him rejecting a female because she had wrinkles on her face. Like, bitch, you had wrinkles on your face. How you gonna reject this guy? And then they were all in their feelings. These females, they were all up in these feelings. You know what I'm saying? When he said, "Oh, I can't date her because her face is too wrinkly," you know. But yet, the female before that called him a short king or whatever. So she made fun of his height, and it was okay. But then when this guy said he would reject her because of her wrinkly face, man, they had a fit, bro. So we don't have feelings. So when we get called short and shit like that, it's okay to like, we gonna just brush it off. We don't got feelings as men. Like it doesn't hurt to be called short, even though 5'9" is not considered short. It is average height, but these female standards have went up. That's why I say, man, get the bag, bro. And then all that heightism shit would disappear, bro. And you can increase your height by 3 inches, 4 inches and shit like that, man, if you get the bag too. You know, all this heightism, it is all about height. Height. It's all upon height, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because of the high standards that women have, that's the reason, another reason why you won't ever see these women, bro. A woman that's a 7, 8, 9, or a 10, bro, they standards are way up there. That's the reason why you ain't gonna get one in this lifetime unless you get some money. You see, women are fucking stupid. And there's some of them are smart too, you know. All of a sudden, when you get the bag, like all of a sudden their standards come down all of a sudden. Like all of a sudden you're her type now. You know, but before you showed up, her standards were up. Her standards was, you gotta be 6 foot, you gotta be a Chad or a Tyrone, you know, Chad or Tyrone only, okay? You know, you gotta be hot, you gotta be a good dresser, you gotta have a 6-pack, you gotta have this, you gotta have that. And then when you an average man pulling up with a bag, all of a sudden them standards just go out the fucking window, bro. I'm not lying to you, bro. You know, all of a sudden they become Mr. Hyde all of a sudden. At first it was Dr. Jekyll, and now they Mr. Hyde. They switching up. Like, well, what happened to all them tall foot niggas that you was dating? them niggas who was 6 foot. What happened to the Chads and Tyrones? Oh, they're not my type anymore. I don't date those guys anymore. I'm all about stability. When you got some money in your pocket, then you're better looking. Yeah, that's right. You are better looking when you got money. When you got stability. You become more handsome and you become taller when you got the money. You become more handsome and taller. All of a sudden, you're a 6 foot guy now when you got money. When you pull up with the bag, all of a sudden, you're 6 foot. You're their type. Like, ain't that a bitch? That's why you shouldn't even marry these bras, bro. No, don't marry them hoes, man. You see what happened to Tyrese trying to marry a female out of his league, man. She ended up just getting the baby and leaving, man. You feel me? So yeah, you're not gonna be able to get these type of women unless you got some money, bro. It's just the way it is. We wasn't all created the same. Animals, they were all created the same, bro. All the lions and stuff. A lion looks like a lion, bro. Like he ain't gonna have no problem getting the coochie, from the lioness, But us, since we are different shapes and sizes, different height, different weight, different race, different skin tone, our skin's different, so. Some of us are super light skinned, some of us are super dark skinned. So, there's gonna be a problem. You feel what I'm saying? Like, women are gonna be picky. You feel what I'm saying? Like, let me tell you something. If we were all Chads and Tyrones as men, and everybody was over 6 foot tall, everybody was good looking, these women they wouldn't be as picky. And there's a Tyrone or a Chad right there. Get him. If we all look the same, they wouldn't be as picky. But since we're all different sizes, different height, they're gonna be picky as fuck, bro. So you won't be able to see these women unless you get some bread. I don't care what you do, bro. Like I said, you would go to your grave before you even see these women, bro. That's how competitive it is. It's basically, to date these women, you got to get past the big ass 6-inch steel vault door. You feel me? Like let's say, there's a bunch of beautiful women inside the vault. And the vault is about 6 inches thick of steel, okay? You feel me? You're locked out. You're not getting in that vault to date these type of women unless you get some money. Other than that vault gonna stay locked forever until you die, until your last day here on earth. Unless you get out there and get the bag, then the vault will open up and then you'll be able to date these women. Other than that, you're gonna stay locked out. I don't care how much you cry. I don't care how much you kick up dust. I don't care how much you beg. You know, I don't care. You know, you're not gonna be able to get access to the women. What's up with it, Captain Commander? You know what I'm saying? Money rule the world, though. Remember that. That's why you're able to get these women, because cash is king, bro. They can't resist cash, bro. A guy with a lot of money, that's a dude that's hard to resist. All of their standards will go out the window, man. You pull up with the bag, their standards go out the window. See what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm gonna end this live, man. You guys have a good day, man. We already at 44 minutes, man. I just want to keep it like that. You know, I'll be back on after I'm working out, after I'm done. I always do an after workout special. You guys have a good day. I'll be back on later. I'm out.